Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
President Van Poortvliet, President Pro Tem Matheson,
Here.
Councilmember Churchill,
Here.
Councilmember Hammond, Councilmember Hodge,
Here.
Councilmember Randall, Councilmember Runn.
Here.
President Pro Tem Matheson, we have a quorum. We had prior notice from President Van Poortvliet, Council members Hammond and Randall that they would be unable to attend and requested to be excused.
Thank you. Next, we have call to the public. At this time, we have the public that wishes to speak on non-agenda items. We're limited to 5 minutes. If there's anybody that come on up. State your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Nicholas Smith, 111 Bridge Street. We had the opportunity to talk. We've been here off and on for the last 5 years. We had the opportunity to talk to Joe, gave us an update on the bridge seawall. So we're just, to kind of give a quick recap, we're looking forward from the quote, hopefully by the end of this week, was it? Next week. And then we'll be here at the next meeting to see where we're at. So just want to thank you guys for the progress from the last 3 weeks when I was here last, and hopefully we'll get a quote and get this taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public wish to comment on anything? Okay. There will be another chance towards the end of the meeting for a call to the public. I will close this session. Next is the consent agenda.
We move to approve the consent agenda.
Support.
We have a motion in support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, the agenda consists of, Mr. John.
I just wanted to let council know we do have representatives for the Class C liquor license here this evening. It's on the agenda under consent. If you had any questions of them or if you wanted to make any comments.
I just read that proposal. I thought it was very interesting. It turned out to be a good asset.
And I like the menu. I said I like the menu.
Okay, so in the consent agenda, we have 12 items. For first one, Lake Orion Restaurant Group, Resort Class C liquor license. Second, traffic control orders. Third is the Board of Zoning Appeals appointment, Cynthia Pennington, for a 3-year term to expire on June 30th, 2021. Item 4, West Nile virus reimbursement resolution. Item 5, Village Hall closure for annual document purge, Tuesday, April 16th, 2010. Shouldn't that be 2019?
Yep.
Item 6, 2018 Planning Commission Annual Report and 2019 Work Plan. And item 7, receive and file McKenna Planning Monthly Report, March 2019. Item 8, approval of Village Council regular meeting minutes of March 25th, 2019. Item 9, Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee draft. Committee draft regular meeting minutes, March 26, 2019. Item 10, Parking Study Committee meeting minutes. Item 11, Board of Zoning Appeals draft regular meeting minutes of February 21st, 2019. And item 12, the Planning Commission draft regular meeting minutes of March 4th, 2019. Any questions or comments or anything? If not, we have a motion and support.
You want to see if they want to take it all. Do you want to ask the applicants if they'd like to have
Oh, if the
comments?
applicant, I'm sorry. If the applicant has anything on the restaurant group.
Good evening. Thank you. My name is Jessica Hallmark, and I am the attorney for Lake Orion Restaurant Group. The members of Lake Orion Restaurant Group are Bitter Tom's Distillery LLC and JS Capital Equities LLC. And I have with me here this evening Tom Bosley and Sharon Bosley, who are the principals of Bitter Tom's, and also Jeffrey Schmitz, who is the principal of JS Capital Equities and the owner of the building that you see going up. And if there's anything that, any questions we can address, we're happy to do that.
I didn't have anything. I liked what I saw, so I'm good with it.
What's your prospective date for having the building finished?
Building or the restaurant? The building is a Jeff Schmitz question.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know it was, yeah, but maybe I should ask Jeff.
June 1st.
Okay, June 1st? Okay.
We're quite far along on the inside of the apartments. We're drywalling all 3 floors now.
Step right up.
June 1st.
Okay. I have to say, I heard you the first time. Thanks for coming up and saying that.
Then I'll follow up with a restaurant question.
We are hoping to be sometime in the month of July. Obviously, it's going to be pending Liquor Control Commission approval and licensing. We are getting close to, supposed to pour this floor Wednesday, and then we can start construction on the inside for lower tenants. So some of that's on her and some of that's on us. But sometime in the month of July would be great. We want to make sure that we're open for the good traffic you guys get down here in Lake Orion for the lake season, boating season, and the festivals.
Great. Anything else?
I'm good.
Okay, we have a motion in
We already had
Support.
one.
No.
Yep, we already
Okay.
had a motion.
yeah, I don't think we voted on it though.
For the consent, yes.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, we had a motion by Councilmember Hobbs, seconded by Councilmember Churchill,
Okay.
and a vote.
You vote?
Yeah, we voted.
Oh,
We're all set.
I'm here with
That's
We're
okay.
It's okay, a little backwards.
for letting us
A little
do that.
backwards.
Thanks for being
But I
here.
don't
Thank
want
you.
to- Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we do.
You messed me up.
Okay, okay, item 6, approval of agenda. No matters to be discussed past 10:30. 10 or 10:30?
10:30.
No matters discussed after 10:30 unless approved by the council.
Move to approve agenda.
Support?
Okay, we have motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No formal presentations. Item 8, public hearing. Mr. Young.
Yes, council, before you, we have a public hearing regarding a zoning ordinance amendment regarding our walls and fences, where we're revising the standards to allow for an option to have like a neighbor sign off on a mortgage survey as opposed to having a stake survey. And this public hearing is for seeking any comments anyone might have relative to those proposed changes. Later on in the meeting, we'll take an action for a second reading and adoption of this ordinance. Are there any questions? You just need to open the public hearing.
Okay, at this time, I'll open the public hearing, and seeing no public, I will close the public hearing and move on to item 9, agenda items for consideration. Item A, first one, authorization to sell 2013 Ford Police Interceptor sedan. Mr. Young.
Yes, council, we had a police vehicle that we advertised and bid, and we had 3 bids. The highest bidder was $3,825, and we have a motion before you to authorize selling it to that person at that price. If they are not able to meet that commitment, the bid would go to the next bid, which was $3,250. So motion to that effect.
Make the motion that council approve the sale of the 2013 Ford Police Interceptor sedan for $3,825. And if that bidder does not follow through on his bid to purchase, that we make the sale to the next highest bidder, which is the price of $2,250. And that will be completed no later than April 22nd.
Support?
Okay, we have a motion and support. Any questions, comments?
What is the, have we looked up a Blue Book value on that vehicle? I'm just curious as to
The
what
Blue
it
Book
would be.
value on, I don't know. I'm not sure.
When we put these up for auctions, do we start at what the book value would be, or do we just,
I don't
anybody
believe
offer
so.
anything that you want?
I'd have to double check, but normally we get a bid from the cab companies, but this year we didn't. Last year we got a bid, it was $3,600 for
Okay.
a similar vehicle from a cab company. This year we didn't get one, but we got a higher bid. So,
I just wondered if we should have a minimum low
Yeah.
low bid, and if we should have an idea what that vehicle's,
Right.
what the value of that vehicle
Yeah,
is
we
before
can-
we put it up for auction. That's all that's the only question that I have.
okay.
Any other questions, comments, maybe? Okay. Wait, we have a motion and support. Roll
Can
call?
we do a roll call? Okay. Hobbs?
Yes.
Matheson?
Yes.
Rutt?
Yes.
Churchill?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Second item is the invoice register and bill approval. Mr. Young.
Yes, Council, before you, we have bill check register of April 2nd, amount of $11,492.68, and an invoice register dated April 4th in the amount of $111,764.54. To present for your consideration and approval this evening, I do have the bills and invoices here. Should you have any questions on any item, be happy to answer them.
Okay, move to approve the bills paid April 2nd in the amount of $11,492.68, and to approve the payment of the April 4th, 2019 invoice register report in the amount of $111,764.54.
I'll support that. Questions, comments?
Roll call.
Seeing none, roll call, please.
Churchill?
Yes.
Rutt?
Yes.
Matheson?
Yes.
Hobbs?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Next is item 3 is the budget financial report for March 2019.
Yes, Council, before you this evening, we have the budget expense report, revenue expense report for March, along with the balance sheet as of March 31st, 2019. There's nothing at this time that needs further action, just to receive and file a report unless there's any questions you might have.
Move to receive and file the March 2019 budget and financial reports?
Support. Questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The motion is, all right, next item is item 4, budget proposal for fiscal 2019-2020. Mr. Young.
Yes, Council, before you, you have presented a proposed budget for consideration as required under the village charter, that it be submitted in the first meeting, regular meeting of April, which is this meeting, and so this is presented. Budget, we previously had meetings and work study sessions. We would like to schedule at least one more or two more budget meetings between now and the time you adopt it, which under the charter has to be adopted by the first regular meeting in May, which I believe is May 11th, I believe. So this evening, you're just receiving it. It'll be on file with the public. It's posted on the website and up for comments. And we would like to schedule a time for some meetings. I don't know if we can do that tonight because we're short a few people, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we can schedule the time to further discuss any updates that there might be. I know the DDA has a meeting tomorrow night, and they may have some changes they'd like to have considered as well. And there may be, depending on what happens, regarding a property purchase also. So,
We're pretty close on the budget. What do you think of maybe just a couple more meetings?
yeah, just one or two, depending on what we got.
I'll make the motion that we receive and file the fiscal year 2019-2020 budget.
Support.
Discussions? Comments? Do we want to set up a date or 2 dates between now and the first meeting in May is the 13th?
May 13th.
Do you want to do that now, or do we want to wait till
Yeah, wait till,
hold everybody? Maybe if the village manager...
Schedule a public hearing at that time.
Okay, you want to
Yeah.
just shoot us out a couple proposed dates and then we respond that way? That way we don't have to wait for another 2 weeks or anything.
Right.
Okay, okay, yeah, I'm good with that. We have a motion and support. All in favor? Indicate aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, B, other items. Item 1 under this is rental proposed for Greens Park. Mr. Young.
Yes, Council, before you have a rental proposal, is recommended by the Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission to provide a vendor this summer to provide renting of paddle boats, kayaks and paddle boards. This would be it's recommended previously during the day from 12 to 7 o'clock is what the hours are, and staffed accordingly, and the regulations were addressed through the Parks and Rec Advisory Committee, and this evening the contract, it's a 2-year contract where the village share of the revenues will be 50% after their labor costs, so their gross revenues less labor cost only, no other fees or charges, and then we split the difference, the remaining amount 50-50. That's the way this contract is drafted. So we're asking your approval this evening, and again, it's a 2-year with an annual review, but this time it's proposed to be a 2-year term.
I have a question on it, but I'll wait till somebody...
I'll make the motion to approve the rental contract with game on paddle boarding for Greens Park as recommended by the Parks and Rec Advisory Committee, and authorize the village manager to sign the agreement subject to review by the village attorney.
Support.
My only question, Teresa, is probably to you. Do you think 2 years is a good idea?
Yeah, I think, I don't see the hurt or harm in it, especially if there's a year review.
Unless it turns out to be a real problem,
Right.
then we're locked in for 2 years. Any chance you can get it for, I mean, extending it out, if it's successful, extending it out isn't going to be any problem.
Right.
But if it proves to be problematic for us, then we'd have that second year hanging over.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think?
I'm scanning and I don't remember if there's, do you remember what if there's an?
Well, this is the contract that we approved last year. That was also a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
And I think it's looking at the investment and time and effort to get this established and in place to help get it established, because the first year may take a while for people to get the word out, and then the second year may actually, hopefully, certainly increase the revenues that would come in and accrue back. So it's giving an opportunity for getting established and then hopefully progressing from there on.
But again, there's no effort in just renewing it after a year.
No, right. Well, we could put a clause in there that says it's a 2-year contract, however, it's subject to review after the first year, and then bring it back to council.
Are you okay with that? I'd be fine with that.
I mean, I'd be okay with it.
Just something that would give us that,
No, I understand.
give us that opportunity.
Yeah, so it'd be subject to a review, annual review.
And I highly doubt that there's, what really could problems could we
I mean,
have?
it
But
does say
then-
in the agreement, it says the village and the contractor shall have the right to unilaterally terminate the agreement on 30 days written notice.
Where did you see that?
Number 16 under the agreement, so number
Right.
16 under C, which, by the way, it has the date of 2018 on the top.
Yeah, we'll have to change that.
Right.
So it's a 2-year, but it's got a 30-day notice. But we can add the clause in that it should be reviewed annually, at a minimum reviewed annually.
I'm okay with that,
With,
with either.
Well, we'll bring it back because we want to help promote the program anyway.
I say, if we want to add that, do we have to bring them back for another vote?
No, no, no,
Okay.
we just,
We'll include it in the motion.
Okay.
yeah, just do the
Okay,
motion.
then yeah.
Okay?
And on, under A, the game on proposal recommended, it still has the date, or the times from last year listed on
Yeah,
there.
we'll change that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I missed that.
So, do we need to amend the motion or anything, or we're?
You could just amend the motion, can't you?
Yeah, we
Just
could
add the
just do a
clause.
friendly amendment and add the annual review and the correction to the date in the motion, if that's okay with the
So
maker.
amend.
Brad, you made the motion, and are you all right with that?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to
Are you
amend
okay with the
accordingly.
support? Okay, we're good.
We're good then.
Okay, then we have an amended motion in support. Anything else?
I'm good.
Then, okay, then all in favor, say aye.
Aye?
Opposed? Okay, good. Second thing, is proposed zoning ordinance amendment 2697, Article 15, Site Development Standards, Section 1504, Walls and Fences, second reading and adoption. Mr. Young.
Yes, council, this is as item previously, we had a public hearing on amendment to the zoning ordinance that would allow for fences to have an option to get a waiver from their adjoining property owners with a mortgage survey as opposed to having a stake survey. Let's hear it this evening for second reading and adoption.
So I'll move that ordinance number 26.97, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance to amend Article 15, Site Development Standards, Section 15.04, Walls and Fences, to add the following paragraphs. A, permit required 1 and 2. B, permitted location. C, location verification. And D, disputes. To expand permit requirements to include a provision for adjacent property owner consent forms to be submitted in conjunction with a mortgage survey or other verifiable site plan for fence permit approvals hereby accepted for second reading, and is adopted and shall become effective upon the publication of a synopsis of said ordinance in Lake Orion Review pursuant to the charter of the Village of Lake Orion.
I'll support that. Okay, discussion, questions?
No.
I'm good.
Okay, then we have a motion and support. All those in favor, indicate aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're all set. Item 10, call to the public. I will open and close the call to the public since we have empty house. Council comments. Ms. Rupp,
Nothing today?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Churchill.
Joe, I got a question for you. I got a couple of phone calls from John. He wanted me to take a look at a wayfinding
Yes, it's
sign that
incorrect.
is put down on the corner there, and he has not yet got an answer back. Nobody's calling him back. He's called, said he called you.
Right.
And I looked at that, and he's called DDA, and I looked at that, and it looked like it's right there on their property.
Right.
Is that not their property?
No, I talked to Molly, the DDA executive. She was not here today, but she did acknowledge that there needed to be an agreement with the property owner,
Okay.
so that will be addressed. Because the contractor wasn't aware of where he thought that was the right-of-way.
Okay.
They just came out and put the base and didn't let check with us.
'Cause that's
And then the sign also, by the way, the sign out there is incorrect. We are aware of that. The arrows are pointing the wrong way. It was the wrong sign. So we're going to fix that. So those two issues we'll be addressing.
Okay, will you
to the
give him a
DDA.
call tomorrow, please?
Call?
John,
Yes, I will.
thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, Mr. Hobbs.
Leaf pickup and
Yes,
branches and all that, that started, right,
last week.
last week? And it's going till when now?
Well, with the rubbish company, it's through till October.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
The
we pick it up
the
all-
leaf pickup now,
Okay.
that's just for the next 2
It's
weeks.
for April.
Yeah, April. The leaf pickup by the DPW
Okay,
is through the 26th of April, from today until the 26th of April.
okay.
But the regular recycling, yard waste, started last week and continues through October.
Okay.
That comment, the GFL is still late. I don't know if you had a chance to call them today. They were still, I know out in my area.
Recycling.
They had the recycling all picked. The
Oh.
recycling was all picked up. I'm not sure.
Well, the trash is always kind of last, but they got me about 6 o'clock.
Okay, I still had mine, was out there around almost 7. I know, all down my street.
Yeah, I will call on it tomorrow and
At least it's getting picked up.
I mean, it's been nice the last 3 or 4 weeks. Seems like they've been getting it in the middle of the day, but I don't know if it was, everybody was enjoying the nice day out today or what, but I know that out by my street it was, and I had a couple of neighbors that had, big piles of stuff.
I'm sure they did.
Otherwise, I have nothing else. It looks like the next item is,
Hang on that note, GFL,
Yeah.
Green for Forever, lost a big load of it right down here on M24 this morning at Shadbolt. So if you got complaints on that,
No, I didn't.
quite a bit of debris went in the street. I sent a text out to,
On Chadbolt.
you know,
Okay, we'll check that out.
Also,
big plastic cartons and all kinds of paper on the road. They didn't see it, they just kept it.
Oh,
I was kind of curious also, GFL was out in the neighborhood this weekend passing out handbills for advertising the trash pickup, but it said Orion Township on the flyer, is advertising the Orion Township,
right.
but we ought to get it.
Right, they didn't realize it apparently.
Oh, okay.
There are some of our water customers east of here that are interested in being on our program, which we could add it to our water bill.
Yeah. I got a request from someone down by the Great Lakes Crossing. So,
anything else? Next is the village manager comments, village manager's report.
Yes,
Mr.
I just had a couple quick things for you. On the parking committee minutes of April 1st, I don't know if you noticed or not, but they are recommending that the village and DDA consider purchasing the 2 lots at the United Methodist Church. And tomorrow night on the DDA agenda is a motion to authorize the council president, the DDA executive director, the DDA chairperson, and the village manager to negotiate purchase of those 2 lots to become a parking lot. So it's on tomorrow night's agenda for the DDA to consider. Just wanted to mention and make sure you're aware of that. The other thing, we already talked about yard waste and leaf pickup. No-Haz is this Saturday at Oxford Middle School. So opportunity between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. at the Oxford Middle School. And dog licenses are available here at the village. And you need to get them before or by June 1st at the latest to avoid having to pay $33. If you wait till June 2nd, it's going to be $33. So you don't want to wait. And then the other thing, we have job opportunities. We have a seasonal labor position, 40 hours. The starting rate's $12. We also have lifeguards and park attendants starting at $10 an hour. So applications are available online or at the village office. And with that, I'm good.
Going back to the 2 church lots with the DDA, who's going to foot the bill for that if that goes through? Or is the DDA going to pick that up, or are we?
For the parking lot? Well, that's what we'll have to sort out, how they want to, what terms they negotiate, because they may, negotiate a lease or a payment over time,
Okay, now that's
depending.
the one off of, that's not the one that kind of connects through for the fire station, right?
Yeah, there's 2 lots right by the fire station, yes.
Okay, because there was talks at one of those meetings about possible easement across the fire parking
Right.
lot there.
Right. We would want at least a pedestrian easement, preferably a driveway, but at a minimum, a pedestrian access, which we're waiting on that as well.
Okay.
If I can say, just the parking reminded me too that I've seen on social media lately, people aren't aware that there's 2-hour parking downtown, and they're getting surprised now. So reminder that it is 2-hour parking on the streets downtown, and parking enforcement is out there.
Right. Matter of fact, the chief sent me a note here on that. There were 51 parking violations issued. 49 of them were warning with no fine. So 2 of them, they apparently had previous tickets, or they could have been an automatic ticket, like for parking a handicap. There's no free one on that one. There's 74 businesses that have returned. That 74 businesses were notified. Only 18 have turned in their employee listing. So we did avoid some of these violations because they finally did get registered. So, but the main thing was the 2-hour parking on the street. People didn't realize, and then the 6-hour parking in those 2 lots. But we've got 3 new employees that started last week, and systems in place, and hopefully we'll improve the parking availability for customers once we address that. And also, we're going to further identify where employees and residents would prefer to be parking, such as other shared agreements like with PNC Bank and AutoZone, and maybe the school administration building as well, for example.
All right. Let's see, no closed sessions. Entertain a motion to adjourn. Please. All support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're adjourned.